Please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application, and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone who would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we begin, there is one adjournment on our agenda tonight. It's application 23098. Property is located in Deer Park. Is there anybody here on that application? That application is being adjourned to August the 17th, 2023. First application tonight is application 23056 of James Shea, property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
40 Columbus Avenue, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
And name is James.
James Shea.
Okay. Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 14th, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated July 17th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Michael Lawrence Haynes dated March 15th, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay, so 2019, I was approaching the town to have, to put a basement entry in. I've been in the house 21 years. My daughter's all grown up. I thought she was gonna be out. Unfortunately, she's back home with kids. That's why I made rooms in the basement, and I thought it was a good idea to have a basement entry. So, you know, she could have company and everything, and then COVID hit, and it was even more of a reason to have a side entry. I work for the health system, so does my daughter. She's a nurse, and she's still living with us. So that's why I did what I did. And never rented it. It's only family use, that's it. And basically, anything the town required of me to do, I have been doing for the last year or so. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay, so you started the cellar entrance application in 2019, but you never finished
No,
it?
I came to require about it.
Okay,
And I don't know the dates or whatever, but that's when COVID hit and
just fell apart.
everything closed.
Okay.
But I was talking to somebody to do it, and I said, you know what? My family's life is worth more to me than anything, so I said, let's just do it.
Constructed it.
Yeah, constructed. So I didn't even have the egress windows in at that time.
Now you do?
I have everything. Egress windows, a licensed electrician inspection, everything that was required for that basement to be legal.
Okay. So it's just daughter, you're not renting, you don't plan on
Not renting, not planning to rent. I have enough dealing with my family. I don't want to deal with anybody else.
Yeah, I understand. So inside, you have access to the downstairs.
Yes.
How do you, so once you come to the front door, is there another door adjacent that you enter downstairs, or how does
Yes, when you come into my front area, my entry of my home, there's a den, and there's steps that go to the living room and kitchen, and right off the kitchen, there's a step that goes down into the basement.
Okay. But you feel like you feel like she needs privacy?
Well, when she has company, where would they come through? So they would invade my privacy. And you know, kids, you know, they could be noisy. I have dogs, I don't want them to bark, things like that. It's just a convenience.
Is there a kitchen in the basement?
No,
Bathroom?
yes, it's on the plans.
I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Next application is application 23096 of Joe Famoyer and Sally Robertson, property located in Copeg. Name and address for the record.
John Teufel, that's Teufel, professional engineer, 707 Route 110, Farmingdale.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 14, 2023, Suffolk County Planning memo dated July 13, 2023, decision of local determination, take no position for or against. Environmental Control memo dated July 19, 2023. You should have got a copy of this. It talks about flood zones and wetlands permits.
Yes, I saw that.
You saw
Yes.
that? Okay. A survey by Barrett, Bonucci, and Van Weel dated September 18th, 1998. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs in the site plan by Norman C. Locke dated December 8th, 2022.
okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Thank you. Well, I'm here tonight with the property owners, Joe Famoyer and Sally Robson, sitting right there. And they're seeking a rear yard setback variance to construct a first-story deck and sunroom on the rear of their one-story home. The rear property line abuts Great Neck Creek, which of course flows into the Great South Bay. The zone is Residence A, where a 40-foot rear yard setback is required, and we are requesting 24.1 feet to the rear property line. We've kept the deck and sunroom to a maximum distance of 12 feet from the existing house, and not going past the existing sides of the house to minimize the impacts of our request. We'd also like to point out that the subject property's rear line, as we mentioned, borders canal. It's over 100 feet in width. It's a very wide creek, actually. And we feel that further limits any kind of negative impact on the rear neighbor, which is on the other side of that wide canal. Rear first-story decks are very common in this area of waterfront properties, and we'd respectfully request the relief required to construct this. Joe and Sally have lived in the house since 1998. They really love the area, and just like that nice little outdoor space and that extra, unconditioned sunroom. It doesn't have any heat or plumbing or anything. As the planning department pointed out, there'll be nothing like that in there. And that completes our case.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Delapecchia.
So you guys are going to be removing both current decks, right?
Yes, yeah, right. It'll be
One side will
demolished.
be the sunroom, and the other side will be still a deck,
That's correct.
and it will be the same exact footprint as the house, not further.
Correct. It's not going past the sides of the house, only coming back 12 feet
Okay, 12 feet towards the canal.
towards the canal.
Okay, and you agreed to no plumbing or heating.
Yes, that's fine, sure.
Okay, and would you also agree to not further enclose the other deck above or below?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, sure.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-096 with 2 conditions, one being that the sunroom not contain heating or plumbing, and that the rear deck is not to be further enclosed below or above.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Next application is application 23097 of Jasmine Nemesis. Jenny Badillo. These 2 names. Name and address for the record,
Jenny
please.
Badillo, 161 Prairie Drive, North Babylon, New York.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 14th, 2023.
So we want to put it, install a, I'm sorry, sorry.
Environmental Control memo dated July 17th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Azarek Surveying dated March 31st, 23. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs in the site plan by James Morrow dated April 3rd, 2023.
okay, now it's your turn. What'd you like to tell us?
Okay, so yeah, we want to install an in-ground pool, and so we're asking for permission to increase the total building area from 30 to 37.
Okay. So, would you agree if we were to approve this application that you would make sure that the patio pavers would maintain at least a 2-foot setback from the property lines?
Yes.
Much to do here. Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay. If the pool contractor is going to de-water, he's going to have to get a discharge permit.
I'm sorry?
If the pool company or the pool contractor is going to need to de-water the property to put the pool in, he's going to need to get a discharge permit.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. That's
Okay.
part of, that should be
Discharge
part of the memo that you
Okay.
got and stuff like
All
that,
right, I'll
okay?
remember
Just make sure he does that.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve application 23097.
Second.
All in favor? Good luck.
Thank you so much.
The 2-foot setback?
Oh, yeah, okay. And with a condition on the face of the CO that we maintain, that you maintain a 2-foot setback on any patio pavers.
So just stay 2 feet off that property line. Would you agree to that? Yes. So you're good to go. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah, that goes back to you. This is too far, I'm not used to this. I got that part. Next application is application 23099 of Lawrence Dodge III. Azum, Azut. I apologize. I doubt it.
I go by Dodge now. Much easier.
Oh, you can give it to the secretary, I'm sorry.
Name and address for the record.
Arnold Montag, architect, with an office at 350 Northern Boulevard, Great Neck,
Okay.
11021. M-O-N, T like Tom, A like Apple, G like George.
Okay. You guys going to testify?
Yes.
No, not.
Yes,
They are.
they are.
Okay, I need your name and address for the record.
Lawrence Dodge, 408 Spangle Drive, North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Ma'am?
Islam Dodge, 408 Spangle Drive, North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Do you all affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated March 14th, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated July 17th, 2023. You should have a copy of this. You should be aware that the site abuts freshwater wetlands, which may require a permit possibly. Suffolk County Planning memo dated July 13th, 2023, decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. A survey by PJM Land Surveying dated March 6th, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs and a site plan by Arnold Montag dated June 6, 2023.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board. As you know, my name is Arnold Montag, architect. I'm representing Oslam and Lawrence Dodge, the owners of 408 Spangle Drive, located on the west side of Spangled Drive, I'm sorry. The home is 285 feet north of Phelps Lane. It's an irregular pie-shaped lot. It's narrow in the front and widens at the rear. And of course, as you see, it has the view of the pond, which is really beautiful. We're seeking relief on the following variances for a residential C district. We have 386 square foot addition where we will be converting and adding the one-car garage that's existing attached to become a two-car garage, and we'll be adding a laundry room to the rear of that, to this existing two-story dwelling, okay? The total side yard aggregates is the issue that is required. Town rules is village rules is, I'm sorry, Town of Babylon rules is 25 feet, and we have a minimum of 10 feet required. Our aggregate, if we go down to the 5-foot minimum, because of this irregular shaped lot, which it's skewed, so it's not that we will be 5-foot side yard everywhere, it's just a small portion of the addition. That'll bring us to a 20-foot aggregate instead of the 25-foot requirement. Okay, as far as lot coverage, we're required to have 30%, and we have 2,445 square feet allowable. That includes the dwelling, the patios, and the shed. Right now, that brings us up to 31.17%, which is a negligible degree of variation. We're pretty close to that 30% mark, so we're not asking for anything, too crazy here. The distance from the lot line is that we need to leave 2 feet minimum, but we're moving that shed from the south side over to the north side. It's a 90 square foot shed, so that'll help us by removing the other shed that would have pushed us over. The addition itself is L-shaped. There is no cellar, so it's not, we're not adding that many more square feet. There's no cellar below because it's slab on grade and they only have a partial cellar in the home. So we're also tying the roof in the front to make everything match, so it looks like it was just simply remodeled and not remodeled, and to tie in very nice architecturally. We have a pergola in the front roof to allow sunlight into the home. And what we're looking to do is just to help them accommodate their growing family. And I'm going to let the owners speak about their family. And I just wanted to let you know, I also visited the neighborhood a few times and noticed a lot of other people had two-car garages and people that also had added on to their homes. So we will help keep the character of the neighborhood. I'd like to let the owner speak now.
Good evening. As you know, my name is Lawrence Dodge. We've lived here since 2010. And what started with just my wife and I has grown to a family of 5. And my children, unfortunately, enjoy motorsports, go-karts, ATVs, and we've run out of space and patience to work in all conditions of the weather. So thus, we're trying to add a garage plus enlarge our kitchen so we can actually have more seating space for our family.
Adding on the second car garage would make my husband happy, obviously, and give him more space to work on his cars at home. And yes, so keeping him closer to home and allowing the kids to work on the cars with him in a bigger space and not being yelled at for going in the garage and scratching up possibly his car would be nice too.
Bumping out also on the front?
Bumping out to the side in front.
To the side only?
No.
No, to the front and to the side.
Front and to the side.
Coming forward to enlarge the kitchen because the kitchen is going to push into what was the existing garage.
Right, but we're going pretty much in line with the existing front porch. So it's literally like I think an inch and an eighth or something forward of the existing front yard. And it still meets the 30-foot minimum requirement of front yard.
So, you kind of told me what you're using it for. This is not going to be anything where you're going to be working on vehicles or anything like that?
For employment purposes, no.
No, he's a police officer, so this is his personal car. He's not running a business out of there or anything.
Would you agree to, the height of the door now currently as opposed is 8 feet, would you
Talking about the, you're talking about the height of the garage door?
Entrance. I don't see it being a challenge.
Well, because well, what were you thinking? What is it?
7 feet.
No, what were you thinking was the difference of like that he was gonna be like repairing trucks or something, doing like side work?
No, it's just that we've been in keeping with a 7-foot garage door as opposed to going to 8, not that he was doing repairs.
Oh, okay.
I don't see a challenge.
Yeah, but we had just an 8-foot width, because you're questioning if it was 8 foot high, right?
Right, the height.
We had just 8.0, but it would be a 7-foot high. Oh, I'm sorry, it was right. It was 8 foot vertical, 8 foot horizontal, right. So if you went down to 7 feet, you just would like to keep the character of the, okay. Right, because it just seems a little commercial, I guess, looking to them, right?
No, that should be fine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep, we all agree.
So the other, the substantial increase on the west side there from 10 to 5, but what I am looking at is that 5 feet is only at the very beginning, at the front of the property.
Correct,
and
it's
it does
skewed
come
out.
After that, so, not as bad as it sounds.
And the shed? The shed in the south side, you said you were gonna relocate?
One will be removed.
Okay.
On the plans, it says remove vinyl shed. And then the other shed where, in that area that's dashed and dotted, is relocated from the other property side.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Wetlands.
All right. So there's a recommended condition that there be no commercial work permitted on the site.
Understood and agreed.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve application 23099 with a condition on the face of the CO that no commercial work will be permitted on site, and that the garage door will be lowered to 7 feet.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
I got it.
Next application is application 23101 of Mary Ann Rabaduo and Dennis Brzezowski?
Yeah, Roboto.
Roboto.
That's okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Name and address for the record?
Hi, Charles Roboto, 6 Lagoon Drive North in Copeg.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 14th, 2023. Approval, case number 01153 for a number of variances, and that was dated June 21st, 2001. Environmental control memo dated July 17th, 2023. Again, you should have a copy of this with there, again, you're abutting wetlands, and you may need a permit, so you need to make sure you take, if you need it, get it. Suffolk County Planning memo dated July 19, 2023, a decision of local determination, take no position for or against. A survey by Barry Farr dated June 3rd, 2014, tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 3 photographs and a site plan by Charles Philip Lembo dated November of 2022.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, so When we bought the place, naturally, we bought it for the views, you know, of the water, and because of where it's situated on that turn, we totally missed the whole, you know, side of the view. So we have an existing deck there now. We just want to make it a little further out. It comes off of our bedroom, and it just, you know, we'll just see it a little more. And then as far as the downstairs pavers, we originally submitted our drawings. We were going to do 100% pavers, and then the plan examiner kicked it back to the architect, and he says, you can't do that, you got to reduce it. So we reduced it, you know, a lot, just to, you know, keep a lot of lawn as well as the part that's being paved. And then I did see something that you guys have that's 2 8x8 sheds. I took a picture when I got home. They're from Costco. They're 5x8. So before I bought them, I called the town, and the town said as long as it's not more than 100 square feet, you didn't need a permit. So they're 5x8, they're 40 each, so it's 80 square feet. Because I'm looking, if you have 8x8, that puts me over the 100 square foot, and they're not. You want to see the pictures?
It's, go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Well, if you see those pine trees are mine. Those pine trees come at least 5 feet off of the property line. That was the other thing, you know, my neighbor can't even see any of this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me give you one more.
The problem is well, I'm not seeing it on the survey, in all honesty, but it's picked up at only 1.5 feet. It's on the plot plan? So it's only 1.5 feet when it needs to be 2 feet. These are like vinyl sheds, can they be moved up a half a foot?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We were gonna move them anyway, because we have to build a fence, and both my neighbors have vinyl fences, they're not ours. So I asked them, I'm just gonna connect to theirs, one section, and then put 2 gates on both sides. So we were gonna move the sheds anyway to the side of the house. I don't know, do you guys have the plan in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically where he shows the 2 squares, that's where we're gonna move them to. And again, it'll be, you know, behind a gate. They won't be able to see them.
He's showing them at 1.5 feet, so you're gonna further.
Oh, I'll put it, yeah, no. They
Just
could be.
make sure they're 2 feet off the property.
100%. That's what you were talking about? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's.
I thought you meant where they were now, because the pine trees are huge. They're probably sitting almost 5 feet off of it.
No, the variants are based on the submitted plot.
Got it. Now I'm looking at it now. I see what you're looking at.
Okay. All right, so you would agree to that?
Oh, 100%.
So then, if you want to do this, Steve? Sorry, I'm hogging you. Remove 6 and 7.
Chairman, I make a motion to remove variances number 6 and 7 from application 23. 101.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So they have to be moved, but it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, no worries.
Sounds like.
Yep.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
On the plans, I
Yeah.
see an enclosed porch.
Yes,
Is that separate from the deck?
completely separate.
Is that there now?
Yes.
Okay. And then currently you don't have stairs to the deck, correct?
No.
You need stairs to the deck?
Not necessarily. Again, I figured if we were in the backyard and we had to get something, we could just run up there rather than running through the house. I'm also, and I'm not playing this card at all, but I'm legally handicapped. I have what they call cardiomyopathy. It's the electrical part of my heart is no good, and I went into cardiac arrest twice already. So the fact that, you know, whatever makes it easier for me later on, right now I'm fine. I mean, I'm walking around great. I have an internal defibrillator that, you know, kicked me back twice. But, you know, again.
So do I.
Thank God.
And I'm young too.
Thank God, yeah. I got it when I was 50.
I got it at 27.
God bless.
I'm trying to help you here because you're almost at 70% of the rear yard. So we're really looking to cut it back a little bit.
Do you mean the pavers, or you mean the
Yes.
deck?
Well, I mean, if we reduce the deck a little bit, that would also reduce the rear yard coverage and the pavers. Because right now you're almost at 70%.
Yeah, well, you know what it is too? If you look at the property, my front of the property is bigger than,
Yeah, the
than the
back
back.
comes
So we're
back.
squeezing down into nothing. So naturally, the percentages seem like they're more, but if that was a square piece of property, I'd probably be right on line.
Yeah, no, it's a
But be-
beautiful piece of property, and everything that you're trying to do is beautiful. You know, the only
And-
issue is,
And what's there now is the guy who bought the house there was there 20 years and he didn't do a lot.
yeah. What about the pavers? Would you be opposed to just reducing them back a little bit?
Well, we did. We were originally doing 100% of it, and then the plan examiner looked at it, and if you look at it now, we kicked a lot of it back. We just have the little circle and then a little couple of feet around the pool, which is only 10 by 15. We reduced the pool and everything.
Yeah, because now you're at 69 and 15%. If we can get it down to 50%, at least half.
I don't know.
It's a lot of pavers.
I mean, I know one thing. I know I don't have enough money to do this twice. So whatever we do now, and God forbid, you know, I get handicapped even worse later on, and again, I don't have the money to do this twice. So,
Yeah, I mean, if we could bring it down to 50%, I'd love it.
well, the half that we have done now is basically, it's just in line with the deck that comes out. And then you see there's a lot of lawn on the opposite side for drainage. That seemed like was the concern.
No, not so much the drainage, just,
Oh,
you know, covering the whole backyard and pavers. And the porch and everything.
I wouldn't know where to cut it back. I mean, we're coming off the fence. It shows here 2.5 feet. I mean, we can come back. You want me to come back another half of, you want me to come back 3 feet off the fence? If you're looking at the plan on the right-hand side, and I'll bring that up.
On the east side you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely help.
Okay, so I'll tell him to come back another half a foot. We'll come back 3 feet. Like I said, I know there's not much to work with. If you come in the backyard, you'll see what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you look left and right, and you got neighbors all over the place.
At least you don't got neighbors to the south.
Yes,
You do, but
yeah,
they're swimming away.
it's across the way, right, correct.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if we cut it back to the 3, we'll have to recalculate
Okay.
what your coverage would be. Would you agree to not further enclose that second-story deck?
100%.
Okay.
We need to get recalculated on the plot plan for the pavers. Just, he needs to recalculate, send that into the zoning office,
Yeah,
and then we'll recalculate the numbers on what the lot coverage is gonna actually be.
okay.
Okay, but we need to see that.
Yeah, no. Yes, yeah, I'll tell the architect.
Oh, yeah, let's hold those. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, we're gonna close the hearing. We're gonna reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for the new plan. Once we have that and we got that all straightened out, we can make a decision on the application, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Next application is application 23-100 of TD Bank, property located in Deer Park. Name and address for the record.
Arlene Melly. My business address is 86 Sewell Street, Hempstead, New York, 11550.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated July 14, 2023. Environmental Control Memo dated July 17th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey, site plan by Bowler Engineering, Joseph Deal, last dated December 17th, 2013. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, the 6 photographs.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, TD Bank has received a variance a while back to have 2 signs on the east elevation. And to my knowledge, this is the second renewal of that application. The last one being 2017, where it was already approved, and now we're back up for renewal. There is no change to the property or the signs on the property as they currently existed from the original filing.
Okay. They're in good shape, the signs? There's nothing,
They are.
everything, you
They're
know,
illuminating, they're secure to the building, there's no change, everything is
nothing's,
good.
everything's exactly as it was.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 23-100 for a period of 5 years. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
5.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you got it. Is there another application?
That concludes our work agenda.
Is there another application? What's this guy here for? Sir, are you here for an application, or?
The property across the street from me at 101 14th Avenue was looking to add a permit for an apartment. Is that on the calendar for this evening?
No. That's a different, yeah.
Sorry?
That wouldn't be here. That wouldn't be this board. That's a different board.
They had the variance on both sides of the property.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That ends the live stream for our